Hello? Oh, unloading world. Oh, shit. Oh, boy. Hello? We have picture? We have... Welcome back from the dead. Yeah, my stream craps out. Well, not my stream. My internet died. Completely. Which was a little unexpected. Yeah, everything just stopped working for some reason, which is unexpected. Also, thank you to Merc Domalith and Mr. Legit Brit 26 for the follow as well. I didn't catch those. I hope that we are slowly coming back, because that was, yeah, that was unexpectedly a problem. If the stream is being weird for you, refresh the page. That should fix it. Yeah, that was unexpected. Did not expect to suddenly just crash the network. Which is weird. That doesn't usually happen. My network's usually pretty stable. But whoopsie. I suppose it does happen on occasion. Yeah. Okay. Where did we last save? A little while back by the looks of it. Right. Okay, yeah, I'll probably about 5 minutes of lost progress, but that's fine. I need to drop down and actually get some more steel plates queued up. But yes, apologies to everyone who suddenly just had everything drop out of existence on them. Yeah. What was I talking about before everything disappeared? Oh yeah, the Night Watch, Terry Pratchett spin-off. Yeah, as I was saying, like at the end of the day, I'm not gonna watch it because I believe in staying faithful to the source material at the end of the day, especially when it comes to Discworld, because Discworld is one of my favorite series out there. Always has been, always will be, I think. I like there are very few series that I like more than Discworld, basically. So it's basically a case of if you're going to do a spin-off series, basically, you should do it honoring the original. Especially Discworld. And that's not saying that they will. Like, obviously, they've not done that properly with Night Watch, and a lot of people are not happy about that, including the people who run Terry Pratchett's estate and Rhianna Pratchett herself, who is Terry Pratchett's daughter. And like, I'd like to say that I could see some of the stuff that has been done for Pratchett's books in a good light. And I can say that I enjoyed going postal, and I enjoyed all of the other things that Terry Pratchett had a hand in doing. Like Good Omens, for example. Good Omens, Going Postal, The Hogfather, all of these series had Terry Pratchett's hand in them. And they turned out fantastically. And I haven't seen Night Watch, so I can't offer any real perspective on that. But I can say that because of what I've heard surrounding that particular show, I lack any interest in watching it because I've heard such things that tell me that it is not the show that Terry Pratchett would have wanted. It is not the show that reflects his stories in the way that they should be reflected. And that's sad, in my personal opinion. Yeah. Maybe that's just me, but I think that's a little sad. Okay. What am I doing? I can just fly up. The stairs are for assistance, not convenience. When you're handling a franchise written by a man who is literally knighted for his writing, you've got to realize you've set a very high bar for your own derived work. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. But at the same time, like, if you're not going to honor that man's work and honor the stories that he wrote and honor the fan base that he built, you shouldn't have access to that work. You shouldn't have access to create from that canon, essentially. Like, fan works, fine. Like, if you want to adjust or redo a writing piece, if you want to do a piece of fan work, fine. It's not canon at the end of the day. It is your own work. It is something for you to enjoy. That's fine. But when you create something based on someone else's work that doesn't honor their work in a way that reflects the way that they wrote it in the first place, and you try and claim it's canon, that's when the problems arise. That's when it makes things difficult. And that's not saying that all derivations of other people's works are bad, because there's plenty that have been done well, and there's plenty of attempted honorings of original work that just haven't looked good at all. But you have to put some care and thought into what you plan to do with someone else's creations. Especially in a situation where those creations are beloved by so many people. And if you're not going to make sure that that work is honored and replicated or designed well, and designed with the same love and care that the entire fan base has for it, then you end up with just less of a truly enjoyable response to that work. So yeah, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like if you're going to like replicate someone's work like that, you need to give it the proper respect that it deserves. And yeah, that is true, Brzezinski. Like, Good Omens, which admittedly still had Neil Gaiman as part of the creative direction team. And he knew what Terry Pratchett wanted, It's difficult. I won't deny that. It's definitely difficult to write and explore something that someone else has created, but with Good Omens, which has it took off, and it is another thing that is beloved by so many people, and not just because of the actors, but because of the writing and because of the styles and everything else that was designed around the show and the book as well, the books. And I feel any show that is so beloved by an audience that they would put so much time and effort to preserve it is worth that effort. And okay, I'm going to throw in another example of this, and of a way that showrunners and executives and a dedication to the source material has actually caused more problems than solutions. The show I'm gonna provide an example of is Voltron. Now, some of you might know Voltron, some of you might not. It's basically big mech anime, one of the originals, and Netflix recreated it. And the showrunners, well, not just Netflix, but I think a few different companies. And the showrunners, like, seasons 1 through 3, everybody loved. Season 4 was a bit meh. Every point after season 4, most of the fan base hates. And it's not because they didn't dedicate themselves to the source material. It's because they dedicated themselves too much to the source material. And like, in Terry Pratchett's case, I would say that the source material is perfect. You don't need to alter it. But when it comes to other shows, sometimes the source material has to be altered. Not just because maybe the original writer didn't quite get it right, but also because sometimes the original writer was writing in a different time period, and you need to upgrade it and adjust it according to how the world has developed. And that's not necessary with Terry Pratchett's writing, but it is necessary with some other stuff. Like, for example, in the original Voltron anime, there's a bunch of stuff involving several different characters. I mean, that's the thing, Brzezinski. As I said, seasons 1 to 3 of the Netflix series of Voltron were actually really good. They were really enjoyable. I liked them. And they remade them in a way that was really nice and really enjoyable. Season 4 was when things started to go downhill. And seasons 5 to 8 were awful. I think that was 8 seasons. I never got past season 4 because it was bad. And it's that sort of thing that people need to take into account, is that sometimes something does need to be redone, readjusted, rewritten. Sometimes staying true to the source material can actually have negative influences, and that's fine. Like, we need to be aware of that. We need to understand that actually sometimes the source material is not something that you want to dedicate yourself to. But there's also times where dedicating yourself to the source material is actually a good thing. And I don't know. Sometimes it's easier to differentiate that than it is in other situations. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this thought process. I've been rambling for like 20 minutes now. And my thought process is just all over the place. But you get my point. Like, sometimes the source material is something that you need to respect, and sometimes it's something that you need to change. And that's... Neither situation is a bad thing, but you need to know when it's a good idea to do one or the other. So yeah. Ow. I think there were a lot of authors who run into both kinds of trouble, is that they forget that their own ideas address those of the previous work. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. What do I need? Oh, do assemblers need metal grids? Is that what it is? I think it is. Okay. But yeah. I don't know. It is what it is. And it's one of the reasons why I don't like adapting other people's work. Like, I don't... If I were asked, hey, can you write a show based on Terry Pratchett's work? I'd be like, no. No, I can't. I do not believe myself capable of putting the amount of work and love and research into something like that to make it what the fans want it to be. And, like, that's not a bad thing. That's just me knowing that at the end of the day, I have my own limits. And I'm not willing to, you know, make it what it isn't, what I don't think I can make it, basically. I know that thought sounds a bit ill-formed, but at the end of the day, I'm happier writing and designing my own stories than I am rewriting and redesigning someone else's. So yeah. I never watched Starship Troopers, I don't think, Brzezinski. One of those things that I never got around to. Okay. I mean, at this point, we have such a larger learning and sort of larger knowledge of the written word line that you probably could. I wouldn't put it past you. I think it's totally possible. But at the same time, Shakespeare was also a man who had a mastery of iambic pentameter and a bunch of other stuff that I couldn't name. And even as a writer, I don't think I'd want to try my hand at iambic pentameter, because no thank you. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't write in iambic pentameter. It's complicated. I prefer writing standard scripts, something that's a little less. I'll hand in his iambic pentas. Oh. honestly. But yeah. Some authors have specific styles that a person can emulate and... Oh, I'm out of motors. Where did those go? Like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this thought process. It's going somewhere, but I've no idea where. Yeah. I have a tendency to ramble. And in fairness, that's not a bad thing for when I'm streaming, but in this instance, I don't think it's necessary. If I end up rambling too much, I'll just forget what I was originally talking about. In fact, I think I have forgotten what I was originally talking about. Oh well. Yeah, seems about right, Brzezinski. Seems about right. But hey, in my meandering ramble, I seem to have managed to build up a decent amount of the assembly line. Oh. Nope, that was unintentional. And that was also unintentional. What was it again? Speed controls? No. Power efficiency controls on the sides. There we go. Lovely. Okay. It's a lot of assemblers for a warehouse. It isn't just a warehouse at the end of the day, Brzezinski. This is going to be our central refining and assembly point. Like, this is going to be the center of everything. All of the different mines are going to be linked up with pipelines, and everything is going to be coming back here, basically. It's a factory to a degree, although a factory in purpose, not in name. If I was going to build a factory, I'd probably design it differently, but I know what I'm like. What are we missing? Are we missing stuff? Yes. How between silicon? Ah, we're fine. Okay. Better word, foundry. Maybe I should add some chimneys. Hey, Lang, what do you think about chimneys? Chimneys on the foundry, the factory, the warehouse. Right, I needed that. You're up for chimneys? Alright. Perhaps I shall add some chimneys. Whee. And this needs to come down the back. Ow. There we go. And that this needs to be on this sorter, and this sorter needs to have a filter mode on whitelist, which allows through specifically iron ingots. There we go. I should probably put those assemblers up there onto assist mode as well. I just realized. What are we calling this stretch of beach? Well, the magnesium mine is over there, though we haven't built it yet. It's just a marker for it. And it's like, I don't know, maybe Crescent Bay? Like it's a bit of a, like a crescent shape. But I'm not sure. Like eventually it's gonna have like several piers along it. But I don't know. What do you think we should call this bay, Brzezinski? This stretch of beach? Because I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Let's get this cargo container welded up. Go. And this sorter needs to be whitelist on ingots. There we go. Crescent Sound. It's a bit inland for a bay. I mean, it's technically on a lake, I think. But it's not really a lake. It has a river coming in on one end and then going out the other, which eventually links up to the sea. And I don't think that quite qualifies as a lake. Crescent Sound, maybe. Okay. Ooh. I'm wondering if I should have all of the output cargo containers linked up together. Might make it a little bit easier when looking for specific items, because all of the components get output into those cargo containers. So. Okay. Alright, and I need to set this to drain. There we go. And that means that all of the iron should be dropping into this cargo container. Woo! Control panel, large industrial cargo container, iron. There we go. Okay. We have plenty of... Oh, God. Falling off the stairs. Let's see. We have 155,000 iron. I think that might be enough for a little while, don't you? Ooh. There we go. I think I'll turn down that render distance at some point. Okay. Right, and we want to interact with these assemblers. Assembler 6, 6, and 7. Go to assembler assist 2. Assist 3. And assist 4. And those get turned on to cooperative. Yep. Okay. That is fine. Now, the cargo containers down there. If we do that, and put in reinforced conveyor tubes. I'm going mad. A cod just swam through the stone hole. I mean, I don't think you're going mad, Lying. I think you're just slowly becoming sane. You know, fish swim through stone all the time. Okay. That's even worse. Dearie me. Dearie me. Okay. Oh, wait, no, let's skip past it. It's this one. And that one. Okay. It's getting there. I'm actually pretty happy with how it's looking. Okay. We have been going for approximately 4 hours now. I think I'm going to call it for the evening. Because, you know, we usually don't go this long on a Saturday, and I'm hungry now, so. Thank you all very much for joining us this evening, everybody. I'm pretty happy with our progress, overall. We are going to go and raid a Kirindave, who's currently doing a tad bit of Minecraft. Thank you all very much for joining us this evening. I hope you all had fun. I certainly did. Have a very good evening, everyone. And a very, very good night.